In this video, we are going to discuss packages with my awesome handwriting. Now, packages are an interesting thing inside of Unity. You can think of them kind of like compressed files, such as zip files or RAR files, if you're familiar with those. But they're a little different. They're kind of like special Unity-centric zip files.
Right. If you remember when we were talking about projects, projects are basically a grouping of files inside of a folder structure. But we also said that they were a little bit more. They have an underlying database with metadata that tells Unity how those assets and files intertwine and work together.
Right.
What a package does for you is it allows you a way of taking all of those assets, files, folders, grouping them together along with their metadata so you can send them to somebody else or you can import them between projects without having to rewire up all that interconnectivity between them.
That's right. And there are some packages that you can get right from Unity. Like, here's a case in point. I've got a web browser open here. I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit. But here I am right on the Unity website. And there is a terrain assets package. Now, this has some additional trees, some grass, a whole lot of textures that you can play with. I highly recommend that you pick it up. But notice its file type, if you were to download it, is a Unity package. And so it is a compressed file, again, very much like a zip or a RAR file, that is going to contain or be able to utilize metadata that works directly with a Unity project. Now, inside of Unity, the cool thing is that you can go under your Assets menu and you can import a package that you have downloaded, such as the Terrain Assets package I just pointed out. You can also export your own package, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, but if you click on this, what this will currently do is this is taking everything in my project, because I had nothing in particular selected, and it is packaging it up, which of course we wouldn't want to do because our project is probably a little too big. But we do have, like, say, a single part of our project, which right here is our third-person setup. And if we wanted to be able to box that up and give it to somebody else, then you could select it right here inside your project view, go under Assets, and choose Export Package. And notice the list is a lot shorter this time.
Right. But what it's doing is it's going through looking at the project's database, at all that metadata, figuring out what relationships and what dependencies are needed for everything inside of that folder to be bundled up inside of a package that you can then send to somebody else.
And I'm really glad that you said the word dependencies, because that's one of the cooler functions with working with packages, is you can just grab any object in your scene or in your project view that you'd like to be able to package up, and Unity is smart enough to say, like, okay, well, in this case maybe it's a character, and it'll say, all right, well, that's using this model and this texture and maybe these other assets as well, and it will automatically grab those and copy them off into your package when you export it. So if I was to go ahead and click Export Now, all I have to do is specify a location where I'd like this to be. So let's just kind of put it right where it is, and we'll just call this Character Setup. And click Save. And it'll take a moment to gather all that stuff up. Notice it also compresses things for you to save on precious hard drive space. Now, this will probably take a moment. Technically, though, at this point, you know what a package is, so if you wanted to click on to the next video, there's no reason why you couldn't, but if you want to hang on just a moment, I'll show you something kind of cool. So now that's done, what I'm going to do is go to File, and let's create a brand new project. So let's just say New Project, and let's see, I don't want to put this here, I want to put this over into the U drive this time. And, let's try U drive, and I'll call this temporary project because I'm just going to delete it out later. And there's all kinds of Unity packages that ship along with Unity, or I mean ship, of course they download along with Unity, that you can load in. And these are exactly the same thing. They're just collections of various assets, including the necessary metadata to make them work. You'll notice we have things like character controllers, glass, we have particles, we have water, all kinds of cool stuff you could potentially load in. But let me go ahead and just click Create. And do you want to save any changes? Nah, we haven't done anything particularly important. We'll give Unity a moment to completely restart, because that's what it does when you create a brand new project. And then as soon as that's done, I can come over here into, now I already had this open from a previous video, but if we take a look inside of our snow level, we have our character setup Unity package. Now I'm going to grab the path directly to this just to save myself a little bit of hassle. Let's go under assets and I'll choose import package. I can also drag and drop.
Well, packages you can't.
Package, that's right, you can't. That's where I get a little bit, well, I just got a little overzealous with my description. But let's go ahead and jump right into our snow level. And there's my package like so. Just double click there and check it out. It's decompressing the package, and give it a moment. It'll double check and say, hey, are you sure you want to load all this stuff in? We'll click import. Give that just a moment. And 3, 2, 1. All right.
-1.
There you go. So now you can see we've got our third-person setup already right here, ready to go inside of our project. And all we had to do is, like I said, it's just like a zip file. We just bundled it up, and now we've shipped it along. So that is a rundown of what a package is. You'll be working a lot with these inside of Unity. That will wrap things up for this video. Thanks a lot.